This is me, and I have a problem. It's a typical teenage problem like receiving low grades or being rejected by your crush. It's the kind of problem that's hard to run away from. You see, I am a drug addict. I was not really planning to use or even try drugs. Way back in my childhood, I was just a typical boy who dreams to be a policeman just like my father. But my dreams seemed to gradually fade just when my mother left us when I was 5. Things started to change. My father started to be cold and distant. I was beaten up by the most important person in my life, my idol, my father. I lost my mother and now I have lost my father. I have never felt so alone. Naturally, I was closer to my friends than to my family. I found people who understood me, who I felt safe with. Through them, I found a true family. There's just one thing that they asked from me, to become one with them. It started with simple vices like drinking and smoking. I thought that they were harmless, so I let loose and enjoyed myself. This was the first biggest mistake of my life. My friends introduced me to cocaine and marijuana. It started with occasional sessions, but I eventually became addicted. I would come to school high and I would go home high. I knew that my family knew that I was an addict. They were just afraid to confront me. One day, I went home high and locked myself in my room. My brother kept knocking at my door, asking if I was okay. The next thing I knew, I was taking a gun from my dad's room and I shot my brother in the leg. I couldn't remember any of that happening. I just knew that I had to change. So I enrolled myself in a rehabilitation center. After a year, I came out clean. I was able to continue my studies with a new course and I was able to meet the love of my life. I became a nurse, a husband, and a father in a blur. I was a new person, or so I thought. When I was burdened with financial strains, I felt hopeless and I resorted to drugs again. Back to square one. I felt like God was punishing me because I came home one night and nearly stabbed my wife to death. I started to lose control of myself. Sometimes, I'm not aware of what I am doing. I know that I am already starting to have psychological and social problems. People started to avoid me, and I started to forget the real me. However, that was way back in 2008, 5 years ago. I was confined in a rehabilitation center, and I successfully escaped the nightmare that haunted me for so long. I know that I could not bring back time, or go back to that chapter of my life. I do not deny it, that I was a drug addict before. But now, I'm already a father of 2. You see, my life would have been worse if I was not able to recover from drugs. I lived a hopeless life, but nothing is impossible. There are just 3 points to remember in maintaining a healthy life. First, you're holding the key to your future. Hence, you should not allow anyone else to manipulate how you view and control your life, especially when it will make you a person of bad traits. And second, is to not engage in things that will soon break you, because sometimes the easiest ways don't lead to the best destination. Think before you act, unless you have already figured out the best answer to all of your questions. Lastly, simply have faith.